Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Mina. In this video, you're going to learn how to sew this milkmaid dress. If this looks like what you're interested in, please stick around. Let's dive straight into the video. We've already drafted a pattern for this particular dress. If you haven't watched my video on how to go about the drafting, I'll be leaving the link in the description. I'll advise you watch that video first because this particular episode is about transferring it to fabric and sewing everything together. Here with me, I have 3 yards of crepe fabric, and this is 1 yard of lining, which I'm going to use to line just the upper part. I've already transferred this to my fabric. I cut 2 pieces of it and also 2 pieces of lining for it. So go ahead and do the same thing. When I was transferring this onto fabric, I placed my fabric on fold. So I cut one of it. I also cut lining for it. The upper part I added ½ inch. So the down part I added ½ inch. I've already added seam allowance to the side. So here is the back. I have already added seam allowance to the side. I only added seam allowance to the upper part and the down part of ½ inch. So now is to start the sewing process. I'll detach the pattern from it. Then I'll place this one. I'll place the main fabric and the lining on it like so. Then I'll go ahead and sew one side of it. This part here, I'll go ahead and sew with ½ inch. I'll equally do the same thing to the other side. Then I'll bring it back and show you how it looks. So here is how it looks after I was done sewing that part with ½ inch. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to take it to my sewing machine and sew a loose stitch on it, like a loose stitch on it on that upper part and to the down part as well, because I'll be pulling it in to have this gathered effect. So go ahead and do the same thing. If your stitches is tight, you'll not be able to pull it in just to get that gathered effect. Okay, so here is it after I was done sewing a straight stitch on the upper part and also on the down part, and of course it's a very loose stitch. Okay, so pick one thread and pull it in like so in order to have this gathered effect, and you have to be very careful so you not cut the thread and start all over again. I'm equally going to do the same thing to the down part. So go ahead and do the same thing to the down part. Pick one thread, pull it in gently in order to achieve this gathered effect. So after that, I'll place it and I'll measure what I have on the upper part. So in order to achieve that, I'll bring this one that I did not slash and spread. We actually cut like 2 of it. So this one, we did not slash this one. So bring the one you did not slash. Go ahead and measure what you have on the upper part and transfer it to the upper part of this one. I don't even understand. So measure whatever you have there, transfer it to the upper part of it. Mine, I have like 7.9, so I transferred 7.9 to this upper part. If it's not up to, try to adjust it in order to achieve that. So whatever you're doing to the first one, do the same thing to the second one. I've gone ahead to cut a strap which I'm going to use to cover the upper part. The length of this is 21 inches and the width is 1.5 inch. Your length can be longer than this, it can also be shorter than this. So I cut 2 pieces of it. What I will do next is to use a strap to cover the upper part. So I'll bring the strap like so. The front of the strap has to face the back of this one, just like so. Go ahead and do the same thing. The front needs to face the back of it, then pin it down, pin it all the way to the last. Remember, you are doing this only on the upper part. After securing it with your pin, go ahead and sew on it. So I'll first of all sew on it like so. After sewing on it, maybe like ½ inch or ¼ inch, after sewing on it like so, I'll bring it to the front. I'll bring the strap like so to the front. I'll fold it the first time, then I'll fold it again the second time to cover it up. You can see what I'm doing. Fold it first time, fold it again the second time, and top stitch on it. Then when you sew up to this other part of this strap, what you have to do is to fold in both sides, like fold one side in, fold the other side in, then fold it again in like so to cover it up. Then when you fold it like this, go ahead and top stitch on it all the way down to the edge of this strap. You have to fold it in first. I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew it, then I'll bring it back and show you how it looks. Here is how it looks after I was done sewing it. You can see how it looks. This is both of them. By the time you tie it like so, this is what you actually get. All right. So the next thing is to bring the down part and attach it to it. So I'll go ahead and unpin the pattern paper from it. Then I'll place it like so. You can see this part that has this W effect. This is where you are going to start placing it. Okay, so the first one is going to be by the left, then the second will be by the right. So go ahead and attach it. You're going to begin with that part that has W effect. Place it on it like so, and use your pin to secure it all the way around to this upper part. And to the upper part, you're going to leave like half inch. All right, the half inch is going to be for attaching your sleeve to your dress. All right, so go ahead and pin it down like this. Make sure you're attaching it front to front. So go ahead and pin it all the way up.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you.
So you can see here I'm leaving like half inch on the upper part, which I'm going to use to attach my sleeve, which I'm going to use to attach my sleeve. Then sew it like so. After sewing it, bring the second one and place it on it. The second one needs to be like maybe half inch attached to the first one you just sew. All right, so go ahead and attach it like that. If you're separating it from the first one, it's going to reveal your boob, so go ahead and place it on it, maybe like half inch on it. Okay, then use your pin to secure it all the way up, and also leave like half inch on this upper part. After securing it with your pin, go ahead and sew it. So I'll take it to my, by the time you sew it, this is what you are going to have. So I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'll sew it. So here is it after I was done sewing. You can see how it looks. I also went ahead to iron it out. So the next thing we are going to do is to use this lining to cover it up. So you have to identify the midpoint. So notch the midpoint of the lining. The midpoint of the lining needs to be on this part, the midpoint of that part. You can also notch the midpoint of this one. So after notching the midpoint, bring the lining and place it on where you notched. The midpoint of the lining needs to align with the midpoint of the main fabric. So just go ahead and attach it like this and use your pin to secure it round. So pay attention to how I placed my lining and how I'm attaching it all round. When I'm done securing this side with my pin, I'll equally do the same thing to this other side. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine. I'll sew on it. Remember, I started from the midpoint to attach this. I use my pin to secure this part first. After securing this part, I'll go ahead and secure this other part as well all the way up. So go ahead and do the same thing. So this is how I'm going to place it on my machine to sew. Place it like so. I'll go ahead and sew it with half of an inch all the way. Here is how it looks after I was done sewing. You can see how it's looking. The next thing is to join the side. I'll go ahead and open it like this, and I will use my safety pin to pin it down. So that is how I'm going to join this part. I'll use my pin to secure it round, and I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew on it with half inch. I'm equally going to do the same thing to the other side. So pin it like this. After pinning, go ahead and sew it all the way to that point. Then to this part, you're also going to do the same thing. Bring the lining and the main fabric like this, pin it down like so, and also sew this part with half of an inch. So after pinning this part down, I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'll sew on it with half of an inch. Then I'll bring it back and show you how it looks. Here is how it looks after I was done sewing it. So I'll go ahead and flip it to the right side.
Felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake.
We are done joining the side. You can see how beautiful it's looking already. The next step is to turn the back with my lining. So I'll go ahead and place the main fabric like so. Then I'll place the lining on it like this. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'll join the upper part with half inch. I'll also join the side, both sides with half inch. I will exclude the down part and the armhole. Then I'll equally do the same thing to the second one. Here is how it looks after I was done turning it with my lining. I've gone ahead to flip it to the right side. You can see how it's looking. So the next step is to place both of them together like so, front to front, front facing each other. So I'll go ahead and mark out my zipper allowance of 1 inch. I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'll sew on that 1 inch line. with a loose stitch. Okay, so here is it after I was done with that. What I'm going to do is to go ahead and shape this upper part first before I work on the down part. So I'll place both of them like this, front facing each other. So I'll go ahead and use the midpoint at the bar, which is that zipper line, and take my accurate measurement. So on this upper part, I will go ahead and take the bust circumference I'm working with. So the bust circumference is 9.2. Quarter of the bust circumference I'm working with is 9.2. So I'll mark it there. Then on the down part, I'll mark the waist circumference. The waist circumference I'm working with is 7.5. That is a quarter of it. I'll go ahead and mark it. Then I'll connect it like so. Then I'll equally do the same thing to this other side. On this upper part, which is the bust, which is around the chest line, I'll mark quarter of the bust circumference I'm working with, which is 9.2. And then on the waistline, I also mark quarter of the waist circumference I'm working with, which is 7.5. The next thing is to take it to my sewing machine and join it following that line. So I will join both sides. So we are going to fold and cut the flare parts together. So from this edge, go ahead and fold it into two like so. Okay, so bring the other edge to this other side like this. Go ahead and arrange it properly. After arranging it, the next thing is to go ahead and fold it again the second time. You can see how I'm folding it. Place it like so, fold it again the second time, and arrange it the same way you arranged the first time, just like this. When you're done arranging it, use your pin to secure it. So go ahead, and you have to take your time to do this, guys. So after arranging it, use your pin to secure it round. Use your pin to secure it all the way down, just the same way I'm doing mine.
Smile until I look away. But I've known you too long. It hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade
So just take your time and arrange it properly, just the way I'm doing mine.
away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away. Cause every
The next step is to determine where your waist circumference is. All right, so quarter of my waist circumference is what I'm going to mark. Quarter of the waist circumference I'm working with is 7.5. You can see that place is 7 inches, so just go ahead and adjust it to have like 7.5. All right, so go ahead and arrange yours. If your waist, let's say your waist circumference, let's say quarter of your waist circumference is let's say 6.5. So since you're folding this in into four, so it has to be quarter of your waist circumference, which is your waist circumference divided by 4. So determine where your waist circumference divided by 4 the measurement is, and mark it. Okay, so the quarter of the waist circumference I'm working with here is 7.5. So I went ahead to determine where I have 7.5. Then I marked that point. So that is where I'm going to place my tape. Okay, so I'll exclude half inch, which is 17 inches. Then I'll place the 17 inches on that line that I just marked. Then I'll determine the length of the dress. All right, so exclude 17 inches or exclude your waist measurements. Your waist can be 15 or it can be 16. It can actually be 17. So just exclude it by placing whatever you have on that line you just marked. Then go ahead and measure the length of your dress. So the length of this dress is going to be 46 inches. So I'll just add 2 inches to it to make it 48 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark 48 inches there.
time I wake up, I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with thought.
So after marking what you have here, go ahead and adjust the tape on the waistline like so. Bring it to the middle. You can see how I just adjusted the tape to the middle. I brought it to the middle. Then on this down part, I will go ahead and adjust it again to the middle so I can mark what I have also at the middle.
All the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden, I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up.
Go ahead and do the same thing. After marking, I'll also adjust my tape again from the waistline. Right? I'll also adjust my tape again on the waistline. Take it to the edge, to the other end of it, like so. Then I'll try and adjust it again on the down part and mark the 48 inches. So just follow it up, you understand what the explanation and what I'm trying to do here. So your tape needs to be on your waistline, okay?
My thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay? Just let
After marking it, I'll go ahead and connect them together. After connecting, I'll use my scissors to cut it out.
me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this. Through all the pain,
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong.
After cutting out the down part, I'll also do the same thing to the waistline. So go ahead and do the same thing. So this is what we have here. The next step is to unpin it.
place. You wanna love me? Well then baby, have a taste. All the highs and the
Okay, so you know this the flare part has a slit, right?
lows. No, you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't.
Notch the midpoint. You can see there I've already notched the midpoint. Then from the midpoint I'll determine where I want my slit to be. So from the midpoint I'm going to mark 3.5 inches. All right, so I'll go ahead and determine where I have 3.5 inches and I will chalk it. I'll chalk the same 3.5 inches all the way down.
Why you never said you felt that way? Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch.
After chalking, use a straight ruler to connect the line together just like this. The next step is to slit it open. So it's only this upper part that I'm going to place my scissors and cut all the way down. Please take note of that. Don't join both of them together. You know this fabric is placed on fold like two. Please don't join both of them and cut, please.
Okay, okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this.
After slitting it open, join from this upper part to where you want your opening to start from to where you want your slit to start from. All right, so just go ahead and measure. When you are taking your measurement, you have to also take this particular measurement into consideration as well. All right, so join with half inch down to where you want your slit to start from, and to the down part just go ahead and fold it. You can see how I folded mine. You can see how beautiful it's looking. So the next step is to join both the upper parts and the flare parts together. So for the upper part, I'll go ahead and notch the midpoint of it, of this half length. So go ahead and do the same thing. And to the flare part, which is the down part, also notch the midpoint of it like so. So go ahead and notch the midpoint.
Your blue eyes fade to gray.
After notching the midpoint, go ahead and place the midpoint of the upper part and the down parts together. Make sure both of them are aligned, right? Then use your pin to secure it round. When I'm done securing it round, I'll take it to my sewing machine and join it with half of an inch.
Way, I really hope that you will choose to stay.
So I'm done joining the upper part and the down part together. The next step is to fix my zipper. So I'll go ahead and determine where I want my zipper to stop. Right, so that's like 18 inches. From that 18 inches, I'll mark 1 inch all the way down. Then I'll sew this down part with that 1 inch. After sewing the down part with the 1 inch, I'll fix my zipper on this upper part. After fixing the zipper, I'll bring it back and I'll show you how it looks. I'm done attaching my zipper. The next step is to fix my sleeve. So you can decide to fix your sleeve even before you join the down parts. It's optional. All right, here I have 16 inches here on fold. I place this on fold, so the length of it is 16, then the width of it is 8 inches. Yours can be shorter than this. All right, so what I'm going to do is to open it up, and I'm going to sew the upper part and the down part in such a way my elastic band can pass through, because I'm going to add elastic band to both the upper part and also to the down part. Fold it in such a way your elastic band can pass through. I'll do that and bring it back to show you how it looks. So here is it after I was done sewing. The next step is to go ahead and measure my elastic band. So the width I'm working with is 13 inches, but I'm going to subtract 1 inch from it. Okay, So I'll subtract 1 inch from it and I'll mark 1 inch. That is the sleeve width I'm working with is 13 inches, but I'll subtract 1 inch from it and I'll cut 12 inches for it. So I'm going to cut like 4 of it. 2 is going to be for one side of the sleeve and 2 will be for the other side of the sleeve. So go ahead and do the same thing.
as you fade away.
When you're done cutting it, use your safety pin to pass it across. All right.
As you fade away.
After fixing my elastic on both sides, I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'll attach my sleeve. After attaching my sleeve, I will bring it back and show you how it looks. Here is the final look of our dress. I made this dress for a client, so I decided to video the whole process. Okay, so this dress looks very beautiful on her, trust me. So thank you so much for watching till this point. If this video was helpful, please consider smashing the subscribe button and also like the video. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in my next video. Bye guys.